You feel tired. You feel pain. You've probably been told it's stress, or maybe depression, or maybe you just need to sleep more. And you believed it, because what else were you supposed to do? But in the background, two conditions have been quietly building on top of each other, sometimes for years, before a single doctor connects the dots. Sjogren's and fibromyalgia. And most people don't find out they have both until the damage to their quality of life is already done. So other videos will tell you to look out for dry eyes, dry mouth, widespread pain, fatigue. But those aren't signs that the overlap might be happening. Those are signs it already has. I want to help you catch it before it gets that far, by showing you 3 warning lights that almost nobody talks about. Nerve interference. Immune drift. Pain amplification. Most people have never heard those terms together. Your doctor may already be seeing the clues, but nobody has sat down and explained what they actually mean. So in this video, I'll show you why Sjogren's and fibromyalgia overlap silently for years, the only reliable way to recognize it early, and what each of those 3 warning lights means, so you know whether your body is stable or quietly spiraling. Hit subscribe and leave a like. That helps this channel reach more people who need it. The goal at Health Inside is 200,000 subscribers, and every single person who joins moves us closer. I am going to walk you through 3 warning lights, each one revealing a different way Sjogren's and fibromyalgia are driving active damage together beneath the surface, with the real science behind why each one appears and exactly what to do when you notice them. And if you want my Sjogren's symptom map that connects these warning lights to the 12 other ways this overlap shows up in your body, type symptom map in the comments and I will drop the link directly. You already know something is wrong. Your body has been telling you for longer than anyone believed you. First thing I want you to understand is that Sjogren's and fibromyalgia are both massively underestimated. Everyone talks about lupus, everyone talks about rheumatoid arthritis. Those get the headlines, the awareness campaigns, the immediate recognition in a doctor's office. But Sjogren's and fibromyalgia, these 2 conditions are extraordinary in the worst possible way, because they are masters of disguise. And when they overlap, which happens far more often than most people realize, they become almost impossible to separate without knowing exactly what you are looking for. Here is why this overlap slips past everyone for so long. Sjogren's is an autoimmune disease. Your immune system, the system that is supposed to protect you, starts attacking your own moisture-producing glands. Your eyes dry out. Your mouth dries out. Your joints ache. But Sjogren's does not stop there. It goes after your nerves. It goes after your gut. It goes after your brain. It creates a kind of systemic inflammation that quietly spreads through your body like a slow fire behind the walls of a house. You cannot see the flames yet, but the structure is already being damaged. Fibromyalgia works differently. It is not an autoimmune condition. It is a central sensitization disorder. What that means is that your brain and your spinal cord, your entire central nervous system, has had its volume dial turned all the way up. Signals that should register as mild discomfort now register as severe pain. A light touch feels like pressure. Pressure feels unbearable. Fatigue hits you like a wall even after a full night of sleep. Your body is not imagining the pain. The pain is completely real. But the source is not in the tissue. The source is in how your nervous system is processing every single signal it receives. Now here is where it gets complicated. And this is the part that changes everything once you understand it. These 2 conditions feed each other. Sjogren's creates inflammation that irritates and damages nerves throughout your body. That nerve irritation contributes directly to central sensitization, which means Sjogren's can actually trigger or worsen fibromyalgia. And then fibromyalgia amplifies every symptom Sjogren's is already producing, making the fatigue feel more crushing, making the joint pain feel more severe, making the brain fog feel more disabling. One condition turns up the volume on the other. And round it goes, and nobody told you that was even possible. Studies suggest that anywhere between 30 and 50% of people with Sjogren's also meet the criteria for fibromyalgia. That is not a rare overlap. That is nearly half. And yet most people sit in a rheumatologist's office being treated for one while the other quietly runs in the background, untreated, unrecognized, making everything harder than it needs to be. So how can you tell if this overlap is happening in your body? 3 warning lights. Nerve interference. Immune drift. Pain amplification. Let us go through them one at a time. The first warning light is nerve interference. And this is the one that gets missed the most, because the symptoms it produces look like so many other things that doctors chase in completely the wrong direction for years. Nerve interference in the Sjogren's and fibromyalgia overlap shows up in a very specific pattern. It is not just tingling in your hands and feet, though that is often part of it. It is a combination of sensory symptoms that move around your body without a clear anatomical explanation. Burning that appears in your face one week and your thighs the next. Electric shock sensations that come and go. A crawling feeling under the skin that no cream and no antihistamine ever touches. Patches of skin that feel numb, or hypersensitive, or both at different times of the day. In Sjogren's, this happens because the immune system is directly attacking small nerve fibers throughout the body. This is called small fiber neuropathy, and it is one of the most underdiagnosed complications of Sjogren's that exists. In fibromyalgia, the central sensitization means that the nervous system is amplifying every one of those signals, turning what might have been a mild tingle into something that disrupts your sleep, your concentration, your ability to function normally. The reason this warning light matters is because nerve interference is a sign that both conditions are active at the same time. Pure fibromyalgia without Sjogren's involvement tends to produce more diffuse, widespread pain rather than these specific sensory disturbances. And pure Sjogren's neuropathy without fibromyalgia amplification tends to follow more predictable patterns. When you are seeing this particular combination, burning, electric, crawling, patchy, moving, unpredictable, that is the overlap signature. That is the nerve interference warning light switching on. If this is something you have been experiencing, I want you to type the word nerve in the comments right now. Because you need to know you are not alone in this, and because what comes next in this video is going to matter to you. The second warning light is immune drift. And this one is harder to feel because it does not always show up as a symptom you can point to. Immune drift is what happens when your immune system stops behaving in a predictable, contained way and starts producing collateral damage across multiple systems at once. In Sjogren's, this is already the baseline. Your immune system is already misdirected. But immune drift in the overlap context means something more specific. It means your inflammatory activity is starting to spill into areas that go beyond the classic Sjogren's picture, and it is doing it in a way that directly worsens fibromyalgia symptoms. Here is what immune drift looks like in practice. Your fatigue stops following any logical pattern. You rest and it does not improve. You sleep 10 hours and wake up feeling like you have not slept at all. That is not just fibromyalgia fatigue. That is immune-driven fatigue, where your body is spending enormous energy running an inflammatory process that never fully switches off. Your brain fog becomes something different from ordinary forgetfulness. It becomes a heaviness, a slowness, a sense of being separated from your own thinking by a thick layer of something you cannot name. Researchers have started calling this cognitive dysfunction in autoimmune conditions, and it is directly linked to neuroinflammation, inflammation inside the brain itself. Then there is the immune drift symptom that almost nobody connects to either condition until they understand this overlap. Recurring low-grade fever. Not a high temperature that sends you to the emergency room. Just a persistent feeling of being slightly too warm, slightly flushed, slightly unwell in a way that has no obvious cause. Blood tests come back and everything looks broadly normal, or borderline, or slightly elevated in ways your doctor describes as not significant enough to act on. But your body knows something is happening. And that low-grade immune activation is directly feeding the central sensitization that drives fibromyalgia into its worst flares. The other piece of immune drift that matters in this overlap is what happens to your inflammatory markers over time. In classic Sjogren's, markers like ANA, SSA, SSB antibodies, ESR, CRP give some picture of immune activity. But here is the cruel reality of this overlap. Many people with both Sjogren's and fibromyalgia have normal or near-normal inflammatory markers even during their worst periods. The fibromyalgia component does not show up on blood tests. And so a doctor looks at the results, sees nothing alarming, and tells you that you are stable. Meanwhile, the immune drift continues. The central sensitization deepens. And you walk out of that appointment feeling gaslit by your own body. If you have ever been told your bloods look fine when you feel anything but fine, I want you to type drift in the comments. Because that experience is not in your head, and it is not unusual, and it is one of the clearest signs that immune drift is part of what you are dealing with. The third warning light is pain amplification. And this is the one that brings everything together. because pain amplification is where Sjogren's and fibromyalgia stop being two separate conditions running in parallel and start functioning as a single, compounding problem. Pain amplification in this overlap is not the same as having a lot of pain. It is about the quality and the behavior of the pain. Here is what makes it distinct. The pain does not stay in one place and it does not follow injury. There is no sprained ankle, no inflamed joint you can point to on an X-ray. The pain migrates. It moves from your shoulders to your hips to your jaw to the soles of your feet within a single day. It responds to things that have nothing to do with physical activity. Stress makes it worse. Weather makes it worse. A disrupted night of sleep makes it dramatically worse. Bright lights make it worse. Loud sounds make it worse. And that last part is important, because when pain is being amplified by sounds and lights and emotional stress, that is not a joint problem. That is a nervous system problem. That is central sensitization in action. But in this overlap, there is an additional layer that pure fibromyalgia does not have. The Sjogren's immune activity is producing real peripheral inflammation on top of the amplified central signals. Which means you are getting pain from two directions simultaneously. Inflammation from the outside, amplification from the inside. And your body cannot tell them apart. You cannot tell them apart. Your doctor often cannot tell them apart without knowing specifically what to look for. This is why people with this overlap so often describe their pain as unpredictable, as humiliating, as exhausting in a way that goes beyond physical. Because it is not just that the pain is severe. It is that it follows no rules you can prepare for. You cannot pace your way out of it with certainty. You cannot always predict what will trigger it. And when you try to explain that to someone who does not understand this overlap, it sounds like you are describing something impossible. There are specific patterns that point toward pain amplification as the third warning light. Allodynia, which is pain from things that should not hurt, like the weight of a bedsheet or the pressure of a waistband. Post-exertional malaise, where even mild activity causes a crash that lasts days rather than hours. Jaw pain and headaches that appear alongside widespread body pain without any dental or neurological cause on imaging. And a phenomenon many people describe as the pain feeling louder in the evening, worse at night, more aggressive when everything else is quiet and there is nothing to distract from it. That evening amplification is a central sensitization hallmark. Your nervous system, exhausted from managing input all day, loses its ability to suppress pain signals as the day goes on. And in this overlap, the Sjogren's inflammation that has been quietly running in the background all day adds fuel to that fire right when your defenses are lowest. If you recognize this pattern, if the pain in your body follows no logical rules and responds to things that should have nothing to do with pain, I want you to type amplify in the comments. You need to know this has a name. It has a mechanism. And it is not weakness. It is biology. Now here is what you actually do with these three warning lights. Nerve interference, immune drift, pain amplification. 3 patterns. And unlike a lot of what you hear about chronic illness, there are real, actionable things you can do to investigate each one. For nerve interference, ask your doctor specifically about small fiber neuropathy testing. A skin punch biopsy is the gold standard test for small fiber neuropathy, and it is far more sensitive than a standard nerve conduction study. Many people with Sjogren's related neuropathy will have a completely normal nerve conduction study and an abnormal skin biopsy. If your neurological symptoms have been dismissed because your nerve conduction was normal, this is the test you need to ask about by name. For immune drift, push for a full autoimmune antibody panel if you have not had one recently, including SSA and SSB antibodies, ANA with pattern, and inflammatory markers. But also ask your doctor to assess your symptom burden separately from your blood results, because in this overlap, the two do not always match. Your symptoms are data. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. For pain amplification, a referral to a pain specialist or a rheumatologist who specifically understands central sensitization is the most important step. Treatment for fibromyalgia-driven pain amplification is different from treatment for inflammatory pain, and doing the wrong one while ignoring the other is one of the main reasons people with this overlap stay stuck for years. And here is the thing about all 3 warning lights. They all feed the same outcome if they go unaddressed. Sjogren's progresses. Fibromyalgia deepens. The overlap becomes harder to untangle. The window where intervention makes the most difference gets smaller. This is why I created the symptom map. It is a resource designed specifically for people who are navigating complex symptom pictures like this one, where multiple things are happening at once and nothing seems to fit neatly into a single diagnosis. The symptom map helps you organize what you are experiencing in a way that makes sense in a medical conversation, so you stop leaving appointments feeling like you explained it wrong, and you start leaving with actual answers. The link to get the symptom map is in the description below. Get it before your next appointment. It could change that entire conversation. 3 warning lights. Nerve interference. Immune drift. Pain amplification. If any one of them showed up for you in this video, your body has been trying to tell you something. Now you know what to listen for. And if you want to go deeper on any of these, there is a video right here that covers what Sjogren's does to the nervous system specifically, and why so many people with this condition are told their tests are normal when they are anything but. I will see you there.